Shaun, Nathaniel, thanks for coming to the living room. Tell me a little bit about what you've been up to.
So we've been hard at work on Seedling for coming up in November for Magic Leap 1. It's been a crazy fun ride.
Yeah? Is it a different challenge than the normal games?
The control scheme was a pretty unique challenge for us. When gestures came online for us, that was like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I thought it'll be cool to track your finger, maybe you'll poke some menus here or there. But when we finally did get it in and we started poking some menus here and there, I was like, man, we need to poke more than menus. And so we've been actually replacing some of the stuff we were using the control for with the gestures and finger recognition. I
found like it's like a really nice metaphor of like you've got your kind of real hand and your digital hand, and you kind of like are doing real stuff and digital stuff, and it kind of like works back and forth, and people kind of do it naturally anyway.
It's so utterly convincing when you have the controller plus your hand when you're in there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people might think to themselves that what helps integrate content into our world is all about the visuals, or maybe it's all about the audio, but that's an extra presence multiplier. The fact that you can interact with these things. Not only that, one of them's a hand, which we understand how to do. And so like, it is that magical effect you get when you're so convinced that something's there. That is a really special thing. That is something that we learned over time.
Yeah.
Once the gestural API came on, it's like, oh my gosh, this is...
I actually remember us having that conversation, like freaking out about the number of buttons.
Right.
And we're like, maybe they'll support 2 of them. But then that actually never became a problem.
No, I mean, this thing is a journey.
Yeah.
And I think the natural tendency when you move into a new medium is to take what you know in there. But the thing that's really exciting about this for us is you learn and you change.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people's ideas when they're trying to think of like what they can do with mixed reality or AR contents is they jump straight to, well, let's overlay the entire world and replace it with something. But after having dived in and developed, that's not the way you really want to go. You do want the sparse content. The world is the level.
Yeah. And
thinking of it that way, what can I do in addition to and not replace? Like it's way more powerful when you're adding something to the world. If a physical, real-world object can somehow modify your content, people go crazy over that. Because no one expects it at this point. At some point, that'll be an old trick. But as of now, people love that.
Yeah, and what's awesome to me is that like I think towards the future when the whole suite of inputs could like really open the space.
Yeah, Magic Leap 1 to me is fundamentally social, because they're people and they can communicate in all their natural ways. So finding ways to share that digital content among people, it seems like a no-brainer. I think once we can get to that point and really share those experiences, I mean, who knows what that future would look like?
Yeah.
It's going to be really transformative. I mean, I think that we feel strongly about that one.
To kind of piggyback off that, I feel that developing on Magic Leap 1 for me has really re-energized me as a developer. It's so different, and I'm able to think about things in such a new way.
Yeah.
At this point, people expect us to have answers and understand, here's what you do, here's what you do, here's what you do. When you come into mixed reality, there aren't rules. Nate said, I know that that's something that we're trying to develop collaboratively right now, but really, that book hasn't been written.
I mean, but quite honestly, like I've even stopped using the phrase best practices. I try to use like best known or best current.
Yeah, like it's like the best thing today.
as of now. We'll find out
a month from now, we're gonna throw that stuff away.
Which is so cool though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's great stuff. Like your Seedling is awesome. Seriously, it's good stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, and thanks for sharing all you've got.
Yeah, it was great. We'll have you over next time.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.